throughout the day. So, it's not that different. I'm still drawing upon the training I've had, and I've attended lots of drama and theatre workshops over the years, screen acting workshops, all that sort of thing. So that never leaves you. The learning is there. It never goes away. It's how you apply it. I'm just choosing to apply it in other areas of my life where I perhaps need to perform a little these days. So I'm still doing it, and I've still got that all-important equity card.
Very, very true. Very good point. And I like I love the point you make there, that the lessons and the skills which you learned on your acting training throughout the years, really does cross over into so many other aspects of and areas of life. I mean, are there any examples that you could give us where you can look back and think, I did that because of my the skills and experience and confidence that I gained in the acting world? Can you think of any crossovers there to give us an idea of how these things really do cross-pollinate?
Absolutely. I've never had a problem being on a stage. I love, I'll learn a script, I can deliver a part, play a character. I have no problem with that. But I don't know if you've done any of these training courses where you're all sat around a table and then they go around one by one. And just tell us a little bit about yourself. I hate that moment. It terrifies me. I will sit there shaking. I will be the colour of this top, absolutely terrified, because I don't have a script that I've learned. Despite the fact that I know me, I know about me, to actually deliver something about me, it's hard. And lots of people are like that. It's great. You can hide behind a character, you can hide behind a script, and you can interpret someone else's words, your own behaviour, your own character. People judge you on that. They're not judging you on your ability to play you, they're judging you. And it's as I've got older, I've drawn upon my acting skills to enable me to do that. As said, I do motivational speaking and things like that now. The very first time I went out on stage and somebody said to me, "Just be you." And I thought they were mad. I thought, I can't be me. And I had a script that I had learned. I'd written out exactly what I was going to say, and I had learned it. And that person turned around to me and said, "You know what? You can do this. You've got it. You've got the presence. You can deliver it. But you're reading a script." I said, "No, I'm not. I've got no paper." "Deb, you are reading a script. You've learned it and you are delivering it and you're ticking those lines off as they come up." Okay, so I had to take a step back and I had to literally rip up the script. And the next few times that I spoke, I printed off my talk, and my opening lines were to the effect of, "I'm Deb, and isn't life really difficult when you're reading off somebody else's script? So therefore, I'm ripping up my script." And I literally ripped up my speech, my talk in front of people, and then carried on. Now, the first time I did it, I was terrified, and I'm sure the people sat at the front could see my hands shaking, could see my knees knocking and everything else. But I got to the end of it. I went off on a few tangents, but I knew that story. I knew that script inside out and back to front. And more to the point, nobody else knew it. Nobody else could go and buy that script off a shelf. So I didn't have somebody prompting me, pulling me back to the right moment. I had to get myself there. I had to use my ad-libbing skills, because when you're on stage, there are occasions where you forget where you are, forget what you're doing, and you have to ad-lib. Maybe one of your other cast members has forgotten where they are. You have to ad-lib to cover each other. So I was able to pull those skills into my motivational speaking. And now I'm quite happy. I'll go there and I'll quite happily rabbit away until the cows come home. And sometimes I completely go off script. I completely go off the tangent. But I know to pull myself back and know how to do that. And if I hadn't had my acting training, my acting background, I wouldn't be able to do that with the confidence, with the ease that I can do it. And I don't beat myself up now when that happens, because I remember and recognize that I'm the person with the script. Nobody else is. Nobody else knows when I've gone wrong. I can pretty much guarantee you will have gone to watch a play, you will have gone to watch production, and something will have gone wrong. The cast will know about it, the producer and director will know about it, but the audience won't.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point. Very good point there. And kind of building upon what you said there, just before we started recording this episode, we had a quick chat, and the topic of improv came up, and I wanted just to share how I found that helped. Kind of similar to what you've been talking about there. When I was training to be a speaker, I remember at one point I just froze completely. Basically, it was in the training class, and we were our trainer would go around from group to group and sit in and listen in to a talk. And of course, when he came to my group, it was my talk that he sat in and listened on. So no pressure there. And I remember I froze completely. It's like, I don't know what to say next. It took all my strength not to just walk off and say, I can't do this, and walk out. Fortunately, I didn't. I managed to recover. But shortly after that, coincidentally, I took some improv training because I also enjoy being in the performing arts, and some improv classes came out. I took some improv training, and I noticed that made a huge difference in my ability for speaking on stage, because there's no fear of, oh, what if I forget my lines? Not my lines, but what if I forget what I was going to talk about or lose my place? And I know from the improv, you can always make something up based on the most mundane things, or even based on absolutely, literally nothing at all. Because with improv, the whole idea behind it is when you step up there into the light, you have no idea. You cannot prepare anything. So whatever happens, you're able to go with it, which has really helped with the speaking side of things. And it kind of also helps I found it's also helped in conversations and general social situations, because now there's none of this, oh, what am I going to say? I've got to think of things to say. It's you just pick up on absolutely anything, and bam, you can get a conversation going with literally anybody about absolutely anything, because it's all about building up. So I totally get where you're coming from there, that the skills you learned as training to be an actor really helped you with your ability to, I'm not going to say play the role of a speaker, because it's not what you're doing, but it helped with your ability to actually be that speaker and deliver the message. And you're absolutely right. You are the only one who knows what you were going to say. So if you say something different, nobody else knows. God, if only it was that easy doing Shakespeare, where then the whole audience knows a script sometimes better than you do. That's a completely different thing. But yeah, it's fascinating to hear someone else sharing the same sort of experience there.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Now, I want to just take us back just for a moment. So you signed up with an extras agency and started doing extras work as a way to kind of, you figured that was your into the whole professional acting side of things. Start right from the bottom, completely non-speaking roles as extras. We hear all sorts of stories about agencies who take huge sums of money and nothing ever happens. How do you go about finding a reputable, good quality extras agency who will take your money but actually get you extras roles?
Well, the first bit of advice was, or is, don't part with any money. I signed up with a couple of agencies who weren't asking for any money up front and would actually take a percentage of the fee you earned. So that was fine. It cost me absolutely nothing to sign up. They took some photos for their books, some portfolio photos, and that was it. Of the agencies I signed with, one of them got me the majority of my work, and I did a lot of work for them. I worked on some fantastic productions, mainstream TV productions, and gradually over time through them, because they knew that I was reliable, I would turn up on time, I would behave properly on set, I never quibbled over anything, I never caused any embarrassment or problems for them, because there's lots of rules around being an extra. Things like you don't talk to the talent, you don't photograph them, things like that. And it's all about your behaviour on set. Because I had a good reputation, I was being asked for. So obviously the agency were very happy for me to go and represent them. Then when they were getting calls for people, they wanted actors to deliver lines, they started putting me forward because they knew that I'd done a lot of acting in the past anyway. They knew that I'd had this offer at RADA, although I couldn't give them anything other than amateur productions by way of experience. I think they guessed, well, if RADA were prepared to give her an offer, she's got to have something there, something worth looking at. So gradually I got put forward for auditions just to be able to say 2 or 3 lines. I did a couple of adverts, online adverts, where I was the talent. So gradually over time, it built up like that. And it was about as much about me getting a good reputation. So in any line of work you do, in any business, how you behave, how you manage yourself is equally as important. If I hadn't built that reputation up, I would never have been put forward for those auditions. I might have put myself forward for them. Would I have got as far without an agent backing me? I don't know. I'll never know. But for me, it was about behaving as I would want people to behave towards me anyway, having respect for everybody else on set. Okay, I'd sit there and think, oh, I wish that was me as the main part. I wish I was the talent. But knowing that everybody has to start somewhere. I was coming in from a different route to everybody else. It's a route I had chosen to take, a path of my own making. Therefore, I just had to accept that that was the situation and know and trust that over time, other opportunities would come up. And that was it. But the first thing is, don't part with any money. There's a lot of agencies out there that will take money off you up front. And it won't be a lot, it'll be 20, maybe £50. But the absolute rule, do not part with any money. If the agency is as good as they say they are, they will get you the work and they will get their money off the work you do for them.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. As you say, don't part with the cash up front. So a good agency who gets you lots of work, they take a commission, a percentage of the fee that you get. So I guess it's in their interests as much as yours to get you as many roles as possible. And also, a thing I picked up from there, you were saying that key is to be trustworthy, be reliable, and as the more you follow their rules, do what they ask of you, do what they say you need to do, the more you establish a track record of being reliable, a solid, reliable person who they know they can put forward because you're not going to embarrass them as the agent. And similarly, the casting people are going to know that this is somebody who does what we need them to do. They're not going to be a wild cannon. They're not going to cause any problems. And that's how you gradually, over time, build things up. And not just in the acting world either, I would imagine.
No, I think that sort of attitude takes you a very long way in anything you do. It takes you a long way, certainly in your social circles, certainly in business circles, where it's very much your reputation is what gets you the